Let's head to Somalia. Officials from African Union mission to Somalia have expressed worry over what may become of their peace efforts if the troops quit in 2021 as planned. The Deputy AMISOM Force Commander, General James Nakibas Lakara, says the process of peace troops exiting Somalia should not be rushed to avoid regrets. This concern comes on the heels of AMISOM transitional plan, where the foreign troops are programmed to hand over security roles to Somali authorities in 2021. Here are the details.
It is on rare occasions that one will drive more than a kilometer on any road in Somalia and not find an armored vehicle. Most of these belong to African Union to Somalia, a peacekeeping undertaking that was put in place to restore order in the country. This kind of situation was necessitated by insurgency that had torn the country into pieces, where a day never passed without hearing a gunshot. The effects of that were always disastrous.
The enthusiasm with which the African Union is committed to creating peace in Somalia, I think, is what has held this mission on course.
Several years later, the number of attacks by this Al-Qaeda-leaning terrorist group Al-Shabaab has reduced, a milestone worth celebrating.
What shows that we are succeeding, we've seen a total drop in attacks in Mogadishu. So far we've had, last month we had 3 attacks. The previous month there were 6. In Ramadan there was no attack, unbelievable. This shows that the strategy we have taken over of capturing towns and holding them is working.
Within this year alone, areas falling under Sector 1, we've had so many areas liberated from the hands of Al-Shabaab. At the beginning of the year, we had the liberation of Barire, we had Sabid Anole, we have recaptured El Salini, and recently, last month, we captured Ergero.
It is not yet over until it is over is an old adage that is seemingly synonymous with the current situation in Somalia. Calm may have returned, but something could still be wanting.
Even when I'm in my hotel room, I am advised to remain in this body armor to avoid risks that may come with security threats that Somalia currently faces. But that aside, as I put this helmet down, because it's really making me sweat for now, the questions Ugandans, Africans, and many other peace-loving people in the world could be asking is, how prepared is Somalia to take on the peace and security mantle in their own country should the planned exit of UPDF and other AMISOM contributing troops come into force in 2021?
Al-Shabaab taxes runs the tax system. Over the last year alone, in the Lower Shabelle area, they made $21 million. In Mogadishu, 30. They even tax in Mogadishu. They call, they say, you brought in 2 containers of this, pay so much. If you don't pay, we'll sort you out. And they pay.
The biggest threat in our operations are improvised explosive devices. Some of you may not have heard about those, but that is the biggest threat. It may not be necessarily a weapon of choice, but it's a preferred weapon by Al-Shabaab. One, it's cheap.
Such shortcomings could be some of the reasons why transition plan needs careful crafting, lest the 12-year-old peace effort goes to waste.
If it is done in a rush, and the conditions are, the right conditions have not been created, certainly our concern would be that the gains that have been made over time are lost. That what all these efforts and sacrifices made come to naught. Certainly that is a big concern to AMISOM. And certainly I believe to the African Union. So ours is to speak and say, create the necessary conditions, okay, for AMISOM exit. AMISOM is not intending to leave. AMISOM is compelled to leave.
The Somalia Transition Plan was endorsed by the African Union Peace and Security Council on 30th April 2018. This move has seen AMISOM register progress in implementing its mandate, guided by the transition plan as developed by the federal government of Somalia. Henry Okrut, UBC.